This is TWiT.
Hey, it's another build. I'm excited. Are you guys going to go? What's going on with build?
Are we going to go? Yeah, I'll be right here.
Is it virtual again?
Yeah,
I guess it would
again.
be. This might be the last virtual one, though, right?
I hope so.
Yeah.
That's one
24th, 26th.
one
of May.
conference you want to have in person. Developer.
2 years from
do.
now, we're going to be like, hey, remember when we thought we were going to have in-person
Oh,
events
yeah,
again?
you're right. That's
I
true.
know.
How many boosters in are you now? 18?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, and you gotta,
I guess-
if you're Microsoft and any tech vendor, you've got to be kind of weighing this. You're like, wait, we're saving a ton of money by not having in-person events because we're not flying our people there. We're not renting out conference centers. We're not having to get meals, right? And we can say that we have so many more thousands of attendees because people are signing up virtually, whether they actually watch it or not. They're signed up. So if you're just looking from a dollars and cents perspective, you're like, yeah, why should we do in-person events, right?
Because I think you
I know.
can't beat in person, in some cases. There's ways Microsoft could save money, but I think they're just going to go. I think they will go back and have hybrid events. And
I do too. Same.
We'll be in San Francisco or Orlando, God help us, or wherever.
Yeah.
And some people will be watching on the web,
Agree. I think that's the
how it's
future
gonna
of all these events. I do agree. And I think they'll be smaller when they come back, right? Like they're not going to bring Ignite back with like 30,000 people, right? Like,
Well,
that's
especially not
gonna
when they say, hey, by the way, you can attend all the sessions from the comfort of your own home. A lot of people are going to go to their boss with their hat in their hand and say, hey, I'd really like to travel to Orlando or Vegas, wherever it is. And their boss is going to say, hey, I have an idea. Why don't you travel to your bedroom and you can watch it from there? And I'll just keep paying you the normal amount because there's no reason to pay for the flight and the hotel and the meals and all that stuff. So that's going to happen to a lot of people. So
Maybe a hybrid
I think
then,
hybrid. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's the way to do
I
it,
think
I
that's
think.
what they'll do.
Yeah.
That's what they'll do going forward. Although
That's what
the next
Google's
event,
doing, although it's dumb
Yeah.
because it's only like Googlers that get to go.
yeah, theirs isn't really like a true hybrid at all,
Yeah.
right?
Well, but maybe that changed. This is their first step back,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So you're saying
It
Google
is.
I/O is
It
going to
is.
be Googlers in the audience, and
They say it's hybrid, but the very limited list of people who can be there.
listen,
in
all the
person.
Google employees are going to be on hand to answer any of your questions. I mean, you won't be there, but they'll be there.
wave at
No,
us.
like, yeah. I mean, Build is going to have the Microsoft people presenting in one place. Like they're going to be there presenting, even if
So
we're
that's
not
good
there,
for them.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Microsoft folks have traveled and done little events here and there. I mean, that's happened. So
There are upsides. I mean, remember, you used to have lotteries because so many people wanted to come and they couldn't all come. And
Right.
so this way, everybody who wants to
or even
can everywhere in
lotteries,
the world.
lotteries at a company, right? We can only afford to send 5 people. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could watch the sessions later or whatever. You're not going to interact with the people. That's what But now we have the technology, just like the $6 million man.
Well, so here's what we know. So Build's virtual, right? Inspire, which is their giant partner conference where people come from all over the world, supposed to be in Vegas this year in July. Not happening. It's virtual, also completely virtual. The next one we don't know about is Fall Ignite, right? Like there's going to be a Fall Ignite. We don't know if it'll be in person, hybrid, virtual. We don't know. It's usually around like November around that time frame, right? So that one we don't know yet. But Microsoft employees and managers are out going to third-party events in person. Like they're just not holding their own first-party events in person. Because who wants to be the first big company to say, yeah, we had 30,000 people there and it was a super spreader event, right? That's not the publicity.
You thought the other Microsoft viruses was bad. Let me tell you about
Wow, that's a good point.
Right?
Although, they had
It has to
Mobile
happen
World
eventually.
Congress was real, right? I mean,
yes, it wasn't CS. CS was too. Right?
CES was much reduced, but it was
But almost
in person.
nobody went to those things,
everybody was
right?
nervous
And the people who
about going.
did, you're like, why are you going to
What are
this?
you
right?
doing?
I know. I wanted not to be that person, but some people I know went to each of those events, and I had to bite my tongue. Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
But
There is this. Well, this is completely separate from what we're talking about, but there is this kind of sense that maybe now that we're all, most of us vaccinated, maybe we're overblowing the risks or the concerns. Maybe it's okay if we kind of go back to normal, having had the shots, and we'll get
that would
sick.
be true if the pandemic was over.
Well,
Right.
even if it's not over, it's never going to. It's always
No, because
going to
they
be
could
endemic.
be becoming variants that are even more deadly
Yeah.
than what we've had before.
But we
right?
don't. Yeah, but not yet. Not in the U.S.
No, not
yet.
yet. That's true. Yeah.
So I don't
Yeah,
know. I mean, I feel like maybe I've just been a chicken.
Right. There are going to be people that never go to an event again because of what happened. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And I'm not. I would never criticize a person.
Absolutely
for
not.
making that choice.
No.
I completely
Absolutely
understand.
not. Many of us
People
are
have to make their own
immune
choices,
compromised, or we have
Yes.
comorbidities that really mean that it would be a very bad thing.
Right.
We're not going to take that chance.
I desperately want to go to something. I wasn't going to go to Vegas for any event.
Yeah.
Like that's not where I
I
would
think
go.
South by, I heard rumors might have been a super spreader event.
Yeah, I
can
heard
see
some
that.
things about that too.
Yeah, I don't know if the jury's still out on that one, but
You know, it'd be cool. Lots of small events, like in big cities across the U.S. Like like not just like everybody watches in a movie theater somewhere, but like like in New York. Say they had an event for Build in New York, and they said, okay,
Right.
500 people. Right.
They've done this in the past. So Build and Ignite, they've done traveling roadshows of different sizes across the United States, across the world, where the key presenters actually travel to these cities. So let's say, some number of cities across the United States, some number of cities in Europe, Asia, whatever. You get to go out, you get to interact with these people. It's smaller audiences. I think that should be part of this hybrid approach as well.
Yeah,
To
agreed.
give people that opportunity. Go to a local Microsoft, field office or wherever it is, or a smaller venue locally in a big city.
Yep.
of the 100,000 people who went to Austin for South by, about 100 COVID-19 cases have been traced to the event, according to the Austin County Health Authority. So I mean, 1 in 1,000, that's not so bad.
Well, unless you were one of the
Unless you're the
one in
one.
1,000. I mean,
Hospitalizations did not spike.
Yeah,
appreciably.
Right. That's the thing. So the big thing now is this most recent, most recent to date variant wasn't as serious for people who were vaccinated, especially.
Well, and they did say you have to be vaccinated at South by.
Well, there you go. I mean, a cruise ship just came back where they had it was all vaccinated people,
Right.
And there were a dozen or more people
Right.
got COVID.
Well, we'll
And they
find
were
out
all
in July,
vaccinated.
won't we, Paul?
That's what I'm saying. Right.
You'll
I'll
be
be
the
the guy wearing the
experimental
Intel Bunny
boat.
suit.
But we've lived 2 years where
I know.
COVID was like, code red.
Yeah.
But we are entering a period now where COVID is more like, well, you got the flu, you're going to be sick, you're not going to like it.
So, in the spirit of I'm not a scientist, I'm just asking questions,
Yes.
which is the dumbest freaking thing anyone's ever
yes,
said.
I'm
in their
just
life.
I'm just asking
But
questions.
well, the one thing I do wonder about this kind of thing is we've spent a couple of years in isolation or near isolation, right? And now we're gonna. I mean, are we less immune to things? Like, are we more prone to get sick?
we're all
in
going to
other
get
ways? Like,
sicker. We're all going to get the flu now. Yeah.
that's what I'm wondering.
Get your flu
being
shot.
around.
People
I get like a
around me
little bit
have
of a
gotten
cold
really sick.
just from
other
being
things.
out. Yeah.
Because we had
I'd
no
go to a
immunity.
restaurant and I'm like, you feel that in your throat, or is that?
You know, the other one is there's a psychological impact. After 2 years, we've kind of, it's amazing how quickly your veneer of civilization can wear off.
Oh my God.
So,
of course.
you go to the movies and people are insane. They're throwing stuff. I mean, people are acting funny. And I think it's because they haven't been around other people much for a while.
Yeah.
They don't know how to interact in the public.
Yeah, it just
I'm
shows
sure
you
there's-
it's a very thin varnish civilization.
Well, when you hear about the melee that breaks out in the press room at Microsoft Ignite this year, you can, you can bet your dollar that I was involved in it in some way.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
It's
like Thurrott got out of the house.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
and yet I think we do crave this kind of, it's so nice to go to a build, right?
Yeah, it's different. I feel like, like when we're watching it at home, you kind of half pay attention, right? Like you're like, oh, let me get a snack. Oh, wait, I got to answer some emails.
It's not
when
quite
you're
the
at
same.
the event,
Yeah.
when you're at the event, crammed into that little space that we get, and you're all typing next to each other, you've
All
got to
wearing
pay
our
attention.
stupid penguin hats.
Exactly, that happened. But yeah, it feels like
Yeah.
you just have to be way more focused, right?
Well, you do have to be focused because, especially in our case, then we're going to leave and go have meetings with these people.
Right.
And what you can't do is say, hey, it was kind of
I wasn't really paying
Wasn't really
attention.
I was
paying
doom
attention.
scrolling while you were
Yeah.
talking on stage. Could you maybe give me a little
Yeah.
recap there?
Yeah.
You know, yeah, you have to pay attention.
Yeah.
Do we even know how to pay
And
attention?
seeing
It's
these
been 2
things.
years.
No, and especially ones where there's hardware or a demo, like seeing it in person makes a huge difference, right? It really
Right.
does.
That's right. Absolutely
Yeah.
does. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I was telling Mary Jo I'm going to go to a PC Maker in-person event for the first time since I
Wow.
believe I want to say December 2019.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is that right? Yeah, 2019.
Yeah.
It seems like so long ago.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
been a long time. Yeah, 2.5
Yeah.
years.
we live in interesting times. What can we say?
You know, but that's not a good thing, Leo.
No,
You know, like
it's a Chinese
when,
curse.
when my
actually.
wife, she went on a road trip to Boston last weekend, and I said, "Hey, anything going on?" And she said, "No." And I said, "Perfect. I don't
Yeah,
want to hear anything.
good news.
What I want to hear is nothing happened."
Nothing.
You know?
Yeah.
I drove there. I came back.
Yep.
Yep.
No, and then what she doesn't say is, "Oh no, it was really interesting." Oh, you know, here we go.
Yeah, you're right.
I had to call AAA. You know,
I don't. It's funny. I don't know if other people are noticing it, but I have just really noticed that everything, the stress levels are much higher. There's a lot of tension, interactions. Oh, giant animals are appearing,
Giant
and
cats.
taking over, and I think honestly, your frame rate went down quite a bit about 5 minutes ago. Was Sriracha sleeping on the vents again?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
He had to move this over
Yeah,
here.
it gets hot.
yeah, we actually noticed it. Yeah, I saw the.
It was so hot. My laptop, I'm like, I don't even know if I can touch it. It was so hot.
So interesting. So Sriracha is a great way to test throttling in laptops.
Yes,
You got to
he
get like a
is.
stand. You can sit that in so it's vertical. You know.
Yeah,
it
so
doesn't
he
lay
won't.
down
So he
flat.
won't be able to
Yeah.
get on it.
Well,
yeah,
that's why he likes it. It's hot.
yeah.
It's like my
That's
8
totally
sleep
why he
bed.
likes
It's hot.
No, I'm like picking him up off it. I'm like, "Arr."